Now I was gonna do this video yesterday. Obviously, when it came out, because I think it got more hits yesterday. But then again, I fucking got 17 whole subscribers. Yes, someone gave me an actual one. So shout out to that 17th subscriber. But anyway, we're gonna be talking about Boozy on the Breakfast Club and a little bit of Flame Monroe, I guess, but mostly Boozy. And we're going to talk about this on the podcast, but right now I wanted to make sure I got a lot of things set up. And I actually took notes this time because I know me, I know I ramble, so I wanted to stay on topic. So um, I wrote about four things I took away from that, and I think there are more, but these are the four main things that I basically took away from that. The first one is rappers need to articulate their stance. Now, here's the thing. I think Boozy um I think Boozy is 100% is what he's saying, and I feel like a lot of times he and 100% of the times he stands on his word. That's not the problem, but I always have this problem when rappers when they take a stance, they don't articulate themselves. And this is coming from a brother, and I've always said this that I need to articulate myself better. That way, I can get my words crossed. Even though I know it's still going to have some controversy, still going to have some backlash, I can at least put it to a place. I can at least put my words to a place where it's understandable, and you won't misconstrue my words. I felt like a lot of things Boozy said. Yes, he stood on, and especially like when it came to like his daughters and his sons, and especially how he feels about the LGBT community. But there's a lot of things I feel like he said that I feel like if another person like understood what he said, they had to explain to a way that Boozy was saying something, and it's happened to me too, and that's why I'm like um that's why there are sometimes where the person says what I says but better. I thank them. I said thank, and like my man Xavier, he said something that I said but he said it better. And I literally said, "Thank you for saying what I said, but better." Because I sometimes have trouble articulating shit. Like I always have, my mind runs a million times a minute, and that's probably why I ramble. And I'm about to ramble right now. But my mind runs a million times a minute, and sometimes my words get jumbled up. But in my head, it sounds fucking precise. That's why when I write shit, that's why I should write shit down more often, which is why I took notes now. Yeah. So the first thing is, I think he should have articulated his stance more, and not just him, but a lot of rappers that are like this. Even the baby, when he was talking about this stuff, it's just like because in all, and I had to explain this to my sister. Us man, we just say stupid shit sometimes. Like that's why a lot of straight people didn't think nothing of it. No less, and Flame Rose done said this too. It's like he didn't really out nobody. He didn't really out no gay people. Now the thing about AIDS and HIV is, and we anybody know the history, it was known as the gay disease. So a hit dog will holler. So a lot of those gay people that took excuse me, that's why they had problems with it. But he never said that. But I told people this too. I said he never really called out gay people. It was like you said, if you're a dude, you never suck dick in the parking lot. There's dudes probably straight, they probably suck dick in the parking lot. But this is the double standard when it comes to people, when it comes to how people look at gay people. And gay people do this too. I know this because I had a conversation with a gay person, and he said bisexuals are, and this came from a gay person. He said bisexuals ain't nothing but gay people that's not fully out the closet yet. A gay person told me that. I fucking laughed because I thought it was fucking hilarious. But the funny thing about that brother is he's married. He's in a relationship with a woman, natural born woman, and he might marry this chick. So I don't know. This might prove my other thing about homosexuality being a choice or not. But let's move on before I start rambling. Black men not wanting their child to be gay. So I'm gonna expand this and say a lot. I think a lot of men do not want their child to grow up gay. Not because being gay is wrong, but a lot of times, well, the homophobic ones will say, yeah, they don't want that because if you're disowning your child because they're gay, obviously you don't. That's the reason why. And a lot of people, people say religious forms, but like I said, I don't think people who say for religious reasons they don't fully read the Bible anyway. And I've always said that about Christians. It's like a lot of you Christians pick and choose when to fucking do shit. When like yes, homosexuality is a sin, but so is other things. And a lot of people done burn this up too. A lot of other things is fucking a lot of other things in the Bible is saying like eating pork or seafood and all that stuff. That's why I said Maryland's going to hell in a handbasket because we just eating crabs like it's nothing. But but yeah, most of the times black men, yeah, a lot of including myself, I would say that I don't want my child to grow up to be gay. But if he is gay, I would love him or her. Those, the same way. It's just the same way. I said I would make sure he was not be feel like the black sheep of the family and all that other stuff. I don't want my kid to be a Redskin fan either. And yes, I look at it that the same way. It's mostly the same way. I don't want them to do like I don't want my child. That's the same way. Like I don't want my daughter to be a stripper, but if she comes to be a stripper and she's a grown woman, I gotta eat that because it's her life. It's how she wants to live it, and that's how she want to live it. That's how she want to live it. So yeah, a lot of black men don't really want their child to be gay. Flame Monroe done said that when she was on the show, and she said it herself. I don't want my child to be gay because he don't want to. And his reason was like people growing up gay is hard, and I know. And this goes on to another point in which, and I didn't write this down, but something that Yee says, and I'm a lot of people's like it says gay men are, and I haven't looked this stat up. So I'm gonna be honest with you. This is pulling out my ass. And this is more or less is what I've seen out there because everybody's talking about gay men get attacked more than straight people. I disagree. Here's the reason why I disagree with it. Here's the thing. I know gay people do get attacked. I knew someone in high school or a friend who was gay. He got jumped, but I only heard that from him once. Every other time when there was a fight in school, it was between black men, and they was always straight. Like when ninth grade, I used to go to the school called Largo High School, which is in Largo, Maryland. I lived in Forest. At this time, I lived in Forestville. And anytime around that time, around let's say early 2000s, anybody understand like this sort of beef between Largo and Forestville? Like niggas will fight every day. Every day there was a fight. Now the probability of someone gay being in that fight probably a little bit more, but most of the time it's between two black men and they were straight and they just didn't like each other. Most of the gang vibe, and everybody's like, "Oh, gay people," which is probably it, but I guarantee you, it does. The violence between black men against each other, fucking old, fucking expounds itself more. There are more straight black men beating each other up or being violent to each other. And I'm not talking about black on black crime, but this is between us black people. There's more violence between that than I hear like a gay person being attacked. That's all I'm saying. And no one ever really says something about that. Okay, I just looked up. The stat. We're like 13% of population, but 37% of homicide victims are black from the ages of 15 to 34, I believe. Like 37%. I might have to look at that stat again. And I think that was in 2020. But that was the stat that I looked up. So that shows you, like, because every time I hear, like, oh, this trans person got killed, there was 40 trans people that was getting killed. That is sad. But there was also, like, 40 people died in Chicago in a fucking weekend. Or at least 40 people hurt or injured during the gun violence. And like say it was the same thing with fucking around here in the DMV, especially around Maryland, because everybody think it's just Baltimore. Prince George's County, yes, we got some real rough hoods around here too. And I used to live in one of the roughest. Like Forest Creek was one of the roughest. These motherfuckers used to shoot every fucking night. So that's another thing. So it's just like I see more violence between straight black men against each other than a black man on a straight black or a straight black man on a gay black man. Now, if the percentages wind up, to each other, we can come to that. Like I said, I'm pulling this out of my ass, and this is out of experience. I'm not, and also by saying this, I'm not trying to negate or like belittle the gay experience because what they go through too is fucked up. I'm acknowledging that. What I'm saying is, I hear more violence between straight black men on each other than a straight black man on a gay black man. Now, if you want to discuss that, I am more than openly to discuss that. So now back to another thing I took there. Because a lot of people, because Boosie having these words, and Charlamagne keeps seeing this, is like I feel like you're inciting violence against gay people. Not once did I ever thought Boosie was inciting violence against, and this is where I was disappointed in Charlamagne because I feel like he was pushing narratives, and I feel like a lot of people saw that in Charlamagne, like he was pushing narratives, and I feel like in a conversation like that, and I understand like Charlamagne, that's who Charlamagne is. But I also feel like there's a time and place for that. You could have kept it like I understand like you're trying to be funny. It's the Breakfast Club. People got laughs. And then hell, Boozy made me laugh a couple times, especially when he said Chinese. But I feel like during that conversation, it had to be serious. Like I feel like yes, he didn't go to school for being in journalism, and yes, that's how Charlemagne does his fucking interviews. That's cool. But at the same time, I do feel like, and I say this all the time, there's a time and place for everything. Like you wasn't doing this with Joe Biden because you knew the fate of the world was just, not the fate of the world, but America was just on the line, and how people looked at fucking Trump. Like everybody was hanging on this, so we want to know where fucking Joe Biden hit at. But not me, nor did I really thought that Boozy was inciting violence against gay people. And then here's the thing, and this is what I'm saying. Like, yes, as straight people, we have our opinions. When Boozy was talking about Zaya Way and don't cut that boy dick off, don't cut that. It's like most people just laughed at that because it was just funny, and we knew that Boozy didn't really understand what was going on, but you could tell his heart was like, "Don't cut that boy dick off, don't cut that." Boy. Now, there's another thing that Boozy is just like I always disagree with. Because it's not like I'm over here agreeing with Boozy. I feel like he says some points, but I feel like because there's a lot of points I agree with, there's a lot of points I disagree with. The main thing I disagree with, and y'all have heard me just if y'all understand this channel, y'all heard me disagree with this before. I do not believe what you see on TV will brainwash you into becoming gay. I also but I also say this about music. I tell people all the time, I feel like it starts at the home and it starts, and to me, and I'm gonna always say this, it starts with the parents. It starts with fucking your parents being there, them telling you right from wrong. All right? And I tell people all the time, I seen a lot of gay shit growing up. There were and like a lot of people say, I don't want to see some gay shit in cartoons. I said I was watching Bugs Bunny kiss Elmer Fudd so many fucking times. Now he didn't do that in regards to being the gay. He did that to fucking annoy him because that was basically why he kissed him to annoy him. But yes, that's still technically a male kissing a male. I've seen that. I watched Powerpuff Girls. They have him. Ed and Eddie. They have Johnny. No, Johnny. Jimmy. Jimmy. Obviously, there's always a character that is different or very gay, but they won't announce him as gay. Like SpongeBob is the whole fucking time. Like a lot of people had fucking gay SpongeBob jokes. We done seen gay shit all our fucking lives. Not once, and I tell people all the time, not once I wanted to suck a dick. No. Matter of fact, the first time I've seen titties, the first time I seen titties, that's when I knew I was straight. Shout out to my fifth grade teacher. I love her to death. She's a very smart woman, but goddamn, she used to wear these dresses that show her breast out. Oh Lord, I still remember that day. I think she caught me staring right at her titties too. I'm like, But there I go rambling again. But anyway, but I've always disagreed with that. It's just same way with him talking about advocating for gun violence and all that other stuff. Oh, these rappers, they talk about gun violence and they're promoting gun violence and all that stuff. I don't think. To me, it's that I don't think you're promoting gun violence, but that is all they know. You are a product of your environment. When the '80s, I said, I'm pretty sure. I'm not gonna say, oh, they ain't never get on a white person, but I will say this: when the '80s was all about drugs, sex, and rock and roll, they was cool with that. A lot of '80s is just like, yeah, they just want to party. I feel like whatever the environment you in, that's what you're going to rap about. If Boosie was in the trenches selling dope and fucking going in shootouts, that's what he's going to talk about. A lot of people relate to that because that's what they see in the hood. If just like a lot of people see a lot of conscious rap, it's just like they want to talk about the revolutions, the Marcus Garveys. You talk about that. That's where the conscious rap come from. The Most Defs, the Commons, the Talib Kweli's. You see a lot of those. Them niggas was still in the street, but they was conscious. And then you get Kyle. Y'all ever listen to Kyle? Kyle is a regular ass guy talking about regular ass shit. That's Kyle. Eminem. Why white people love Eminem so much? Because a lot of people can relate to Eminem. That's why he's so popular with a lot, especially with a lot of white fans that like rap. They fucking love Eminem. And like, I'm gonna tell you this: a lot of white rappers emulate Eminem. Every white rapper I see emulates Eminem to a point where he's like the fucking blueprint. And I know Eminem's not the first white rapper, but at the same time, I see a lot of people emulate Eminem, and no one I've seen emulates MC Search. And MC Search can rap. So I always disagree with that. Even when he was talking about it, it's just like you can't blame Boozy for rapping about the environment he's in because he said it himself. I didn't know I was a I didn't know I was a bad influence. I'm just talking about what I went through, and a lot of people did. That's why Pac used to like talk about everything, and Pac was like a prophet, but also Pac came from a vision of freedom fighters. That's why his music is so fucking revolutionary. Biggie, he talked about the streets. Yes, as dope as a rapper he was, but that nigga he would talk about some street shit that would make you feel make you feel shit. Listen to Everyday Struggle. Everyday Struggle by Biggie is a really it's a really dope song. And it talking about, I used to wake up fucked up, broke as hell, another rock the cell. Like that's the shit that he grew up with. I understand if Biggie grew up in the fucking Beverly Hills, he would have some fucking nice ass punchline bars about fucking shopping in Beverly Hills. Fucking Kid Cudi, which is like to me, he's an entity in his own. The only person I know that was talking about depression that was talking about depression and all that other stuff. Like Kid Cudi was in the league of his own. He was the only person I know talking about depression. Now you see a lot of these rappers, they're talking about depression and anxiety and all that other stuff. Kid Cudi set that lane. I remember because I tell people all the time, I think Kid Cudi is important to hip hop, and one of my best friends, loved Kid Cudi, and I used to tell him all the time, it's like grew up not liking the Kid Cudi. He was too depressing for me. Because even though I grew up in the hood and all that stuff, I listen to gangster rap all the time. Never once did I wanted to pop a gun. Like I listened to the Locks, fucking G Unit, Dipset. I used to listen to all MOP, fucking Honest. Like I grew up on gangster rap. Not once did I fucking wanted to go pop a gun. If anything, gangster rap taught me how to maneuver through fucking hoods. So it was like when every time Charlamagne does that, it irks me because yeah, it was like I don't know, maybe because I look at it differently than he do. Because I don't see because everybody's like, oh, rap some of these gangster raps promote violence. I said it doesn't promote violence. There's already violence there. Yes, there are good days in the hood. And Busta Rhymes used to do in the ghetto. If you ever listen to Busta Rhymes in the ghetto, like he'll talk about the good stuff in the hood. Yes, but you know damn well, like sometimes the days in the projects, this shit is hard. It's like I tell people the most important lesson I done learned from rap is if you ain't from my hood, get the fuck around here. Like I said, gangster rap taught me how to maneuver through fucking hood, and try to teach you how to maneuver through life because they do give you fucking street knowledge. And I feel like in life you gotta have some type of street knowledge to know what is it. So that always used to irk me because I don't know. It always irked me. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, and I made sure I went back to my notes, the double standard on fatherhood. I've always said this. There's a double standard on fatherhood. The is parenting at least, but I'm gonna just be specific and say fatherhood. We protect our we protect our we protect our daughters, but we send our sons out to the wolves. Our black boys are never protected. That's why like a lot of that's it's like this is why I feel like there's a lot of this. I don't want to say manipulation, but this is why there's a lot of entitlement when it comes to, especially if you grew up in a two parent home. You already know that the daughter is a daddy's little girl. Like they get like the daughter protected daddy's little girl, and I feel like to black men we don't get an area where we're protected. I do not. Do I want us to be coddled? No, but I do feel like where we're home, we should be at least look like protected. Sometimes in the single parenthood, the little kid, the 13-year-old boy is the man of the house. And he has to learn how to be a man at 13. He's never learned how to be a fucking teenager. We gotta like we as men, and I don't mind doing this because I always said this. I understand it because as men, we're different from women. I do believe, but there are times where I feel like when we're at home, let us be kids. That's why I'm trying to. I feel like I don't mind us you sending us to a book, but when we come back, can we get like, um, you know, it's when we come back that's the problem. It's like, what did you learn? How are you feeling? What are you doing? Because a lot of kids, this is now I do think men are emotional, but and because everybody say men are emotional, we are emotional. We just expresses our emotions differently. But there are times where I feel like as fathers, and my father did this to me. How do you feel? Speak about it. How do you feel? What is wrong with you? Just it's like learn to respect. I feel like the way we raise our boys now is a little bit softer than how I was raised up. Like I was still like raised up to be like a provider. I feel like you still should raise boys as providers. Don't get me wrong. Even in this equal as society, you should raise men to be protectors and providers because even though women are getting these opportunities and going to school, sometimes men we're just getting left to the wolves. It's like fuck it, figure it out on your own. A lot of us, and I keep telling people, most of these jobs for men are good with their hands. You taking away these jobs that are good with their hands, where are they going to go? Because a lot of black men now we gotta like change the rules, or at least if we're going to get men to provide now, we got to provide in different areas. It's like gone. I mean, you still get your welding, your plumbings, but they don't even teach that in school no more. It's like now it's about the computers. We need to focus on computers. That's why Sergeant Willie P talk about STEM science. Like let's get them to school. Like let's focus this on education. Get them to school. Get them these $100 jobs. Get them these engineering programs. Give them this MITs. Get your kids in these computer jobs because obviously they are the future. We still the thing about the men. Yes, we don't evolve. We don't feel like we need to evolve in some things, but there are things that I feel like men we need to evolve in, especially how we treat our boys. Yes, send them out to the wolves, but when they come back, yo, let them vent. Let them tell you how they feel. Let them ask you like blah 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 blah. Like giving these father son talks. You, I still think you should teach little boys how to man up. When they hurt, you tell them you pick yourself up and you man up. When you start something, you finish it. But you also gotta like when you're here, this is your safe space. If you want to vent, go ahead and vent. If you want to tell me how you feel, tell me how you feel. Like we need to evolve these things. And I feel like, and like I said, we're my generation, I was born in '88. We got to be the ones doing that now. It's just like we see the boys. It's just like, all right, what did you learn and all that stuff? Oh, what can you learn from this? And then like I said, STEM, like we need to put our kids in STEM science. So overall, this Boosie interview, I think it was very interesting. But I also think they was, I don't know if they was, it felt a little chastising. Instead of a conversation having, it felt like they was trying to now he was like he was like Charlamagne was like, ah. Charlamagne kind of disappointed me because I feel like he was caping for gay people. And look, I like I said, I understand. Yes, they go through this shit, but not once did I ever think Boozy was trying to incite violence. Yes, I know he was talking about the whole thing about him dragging. Oh yeah, before I forget, and I'm gonna say this. I may do another video on this, but I'm gonna just keep it real because every time they brings up, because I asked this question to my man's and we had a conversation about this. Uh, I've always had this theory that no one cares about lesbians. Because anytime when a man, brings up they don't want to see the two dudes kissing, and it's like, oh, but you see two girls kissing. It's like no one cares, and I feel like no one should say it. No one cares about what lesbians do, and this is not a shot against lesbians, but like for a sexual purpose, no one really cares about you unless it's like when it comes to really sexual, like about your feelings. I don't think a lot of people really care. I personally think a lot of people do not care about how you feel sexual or as a person, more or less, dealing with a sexual favor. That's why when people find out you're a lesbian, they think sexual wise. Oh, so, oh shit, she might be like having orgies with a bunch of other women and all that other stuff. They go through this porn fantasy. And I'm here to tell you, as a man that has a bunch of friends that are lesbians, it's not even like that. First things first, they are more jealous than I don't care what anyone says. Like they can fight me on this. They are more jealous than any other straight person ever. Like you got to be like the jealous of the jealous, but them motherfuckers get really jealous when you hug their girl. I've seen that. I've given like their girlfriends hugs and all that stuff, and especially if you are a dom or a butch or however you want to consider yourself. I've gotten death stares from people just because I hugged them, and it's like I'm friends with them. It's like, the fuck you looking at me? Like everybody think like, oh, these lesbian relationships they have, well, they be having these orgies. Half the time it's not even like that. Half the time they don't even like each other. I'm gonna be real with you. Sometimes, yeah, they hang with a group of friends, but sometimes they don't like each other. It's like yes, it'd be like that in the strip clubs and all that other stuff, but most of the time, that shit is just, it's really not like sexually pleasing as people will say and all that other stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. Like it's really regular, but with a little bit more jealousy because them and a little bit more fighting because a lot of lesbian relationships they fight a fucking lot and there's a lot more cheating. Like a lot of girl, like a lot of lesbians, especially like if you know they're in a relationship, they will try you, and then like the butch always got to fight another fucking butch, or a film got to fight another film because someone's trying to push up on that girl, and like they get into fights. I've seen that shit too. Like that shit is different. So a lot of like men, I know this is why I said no one really cares about lesbian because outside of that shit, I don't think no one really cares. So of course, like what, and also say this because when they see two, of course I'm going to be okay with two women kissing. I'm attracted to women. Is it a double standard? Yes, I will admit that. Yeah, those are because technically, she's gay, and those are lesbians. They are gay, but most people look at this don't care. And yes, um, why most people think gay people being gay is a choice because a lot of women when they get out of relationships with men, sometimes they go into relationship with women. It's like fuck it, I'm gonna try women. It's just like so you just choosing to try women. That's why a lot of people look at being lesbian as a choice or being gay as a choice, not like something you're born with. I felt the same way about Do the Right Thing, the TV show. when fucking Norris just start fucking with the lesbian chick and all that other stuff. And I already had a rant about that, but it was like, oh, you just choose to fuck with him, and it's just like she good, and she, always putting. I'm not putting myself in a label or put myself in a box and all that other stuff, and then she labeled herself, which is why the whole label shit. I'm about to ramble again, but anyway, if you want me to continue on that, let me know. But I have a whole fucking rant about that no one cares about lesbians and all that other stuff. But I don't say that in a mean way because I feel like a lot of people really don't care about lesbian issues. But it's like you only, especially from a men's eyes, you only fulfill your duty sexually, not from you as a woman, I guess. So that's all. That's my take on the Boosie. It was very interesting. Um, if we to run it all back, I think rappers need to articulate their stance more because just to get to a point where he's like, okay, I see where you're coming from. I don't have to. I feel like every time when like rappers they say some stuff, I feel like there's always someone, and I usually be like this too. What he's trying to say is blase blase blah. I'm still working on that myself to where it's just like what you're trying to say is, but what I'm trying to say is blase blase blah. Black men not wanting their child to be gay. He also does not want violence against gay people or Lil Nas X. He done said that many a times, but people still think so. And yes, there's a double standard on fatherhood. That's what I took out of that whole. Now we're definitely gonna be talking about this on the podcast, but I wanted to get this out there, just so I can have something to practice on. And I'll probably look at it again. I'm gonna finish this Flame Monroe interview because Flame Monroe is an interesting person, and he she we and he she we gets a lot of flack for being he she we. So let me know if y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Till then, my name is Eskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.